What do you mean by the spiritual vibration of our lives, and how does this affect the way we should live?
Spiritual vibrations. I don't think I have talked much about it on my website. I think that other therapists have dealt with that more than I have. But people do have vibrations, and those depend on their feelings, on their thoughts, on how close they are to the light, meaning God, or to dark things. And they emit a frequency. So, of course, this frequency affects other people around them. And actually, everything has frequencies. Plants have their own frequencies, animals have their own frequencies, and all these frequencies interact with each other. So what I mostly wrote about is that we should work on our frequencies by trying to control our negative patterns, like how we react to,
Mm-hmm.
to other people or to our own thoughts. Try to, you know, um, be more spiritual and enlightened, and pray to God so that we can we can cope with the negative stuff happening in our lives. Find a better way. Learn patience, like in the old days, like people did in the old days. Because I think nowadays nobody is patient anymore. Everybody wants a quick fix, and that's it. Quick
It's
result,
true.
immediate results.
Yeah, no, that's so true. It's funny. A couple of the interviews now, I've brought this up. I've got a couple of Rife machines. You know, the frequency generators.
Okay, no, I'm not familiar with them.
Oh, you should
Frequency
check them out.
generate.
There was a gentleman called Royal Rife in, I think it was 50s or 60s. He created a frequency generator machine,
Oh,
and
okay. Now that you said the name, wasn't he the one who found the cure for cancer?
yes, yes, he had a
Okay.
device. He used to put people inside and bombard their system with frequency.
Mm.
And so a couple of years ago, somebody said to me, "Oh, look," told me all about the Rife machines, and I had actually heard about them years ago, and I've always wanted to get a couple. And there was a gentleman who got some Chinese coding done for and so he was able to produce a machine, like a small generator, which you can then attach to a laptop or a computer and download this software, which has all the identified frequency signatures of every possible ailment that you could possibly, that has been diagnosed. Also, all positive emotions and the scale of frequency, and and all the binaural stuff is in there too, which is really really wonderful. And the was it solfeggio, yeah, solfeggio scales and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, and basically, so I got one to review for the magazine. And what it does is you can either attach it to you with various, handles or whatever, or patches and put it on you, or you can run it on remote, which means you get a little bit of your DNA, like a hair follicle or a clipping of nail, and you put that in the machine itself, and it works on remote mode. And they use what they call quantum entanglement theory, and the machines are called Spooky Twos.
Oh,
And what it does is it's based on a statement that was made by Einstein about spooky science. I can't remember the phrase exactly, but basically, I got one, and I had it running on the detox program, the train program, which runs over 14 days, and it gets rid of all the heavy metals from your body. And I
mm,
had such an effect from it. Because initially I thought, well, there's no way just putting a little bit of DNA in a machine is going to have an effect on me. But I thought it'll make a good review, so I'll do that. And
okay.
then about a month later, I started to realize the programming that I put into the system, all these little ailments that I was feeling. I was actually, you know, I don't want to say this. I shouldn't say this over because they're so critical now on anyone claiming anything. But quite frankly, it was about 3 or 4 things which I'd had a problem with, and every time I'd gone to the doctor, they had never been able to kind of fix. So I'd
Hmm.
just been tolerating them. Within about a month of having this machine, I'd removed them. I was
Oh, really?
haven't had. Yeah, it was just amazing. It was all on remote. So basically, um, so then I got a second generator because they suggest you have one running on detox permanently, you see, which I do, and then the other one you can kind of do this scan. So you lie in your bed and they connect you connect all these electrodes to you. It looks quite medieval, and basically they then do a full body scan. It
Hmm.
takes about 40 minutes, and then it comes up and it actually tells you what it's found. It's like peeling an onion, say. So you can then run that program and it will heal those
Mm-hmm.
things over a period of time. And so I've been doing that for the last couple of years, and it's quite interesting when detox or when the programs are running, certain things I can actually feel happening. Like I went through a bad state of I had some conjunctivitis because I was quite run down after my first uni exam period because I was doing some all-nighters, and so I got some conjunctivitis in my eyes. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought, oh, look, I'll run a program through the frequencies and see what happens. I woke up, I think about 1 a.m. in the morning, and I had stuff streaming out of my eyes.
Oh, so
And so I had to go to
it's
the
coming out.
bathroom. Yeah, it was all just, it was literally, I could not believe it. It was just pouring out of my eyes. And I
Oh,
just wiped away. No, normally conjunctivitis, if I've had it, it stays for a few days and and it's quite sore and painful. This was gone in a matter of hours.
wow.
Amazing. Yeah.
I've
So,
had conjunctivitis
mm,
for 3 years now, and
mm.
I recently had a flare up. So that would be
Oh,
that machine would be handy.
because the coding's now being done in Chinese and it's been churned into, instead of it just being a machine, which is what it used to be, and it was all built into the machine. Those machines used to cost about between 20 and 30,000. But the little generator device now is only about $300, and all
Okay.
you do is you connect it to your computer, and you can then this is like available. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
now that you say so, one of my clients started working with one of those machines, and she did it, and she did do a session with me.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
she did that, and she told me that her clients are very happy that they do see results.
Yeah, it's
So,
amazing. If when they were explaining it to me, I was kind of like shaking my head and going, "Yeah, this sounds weird," especially the quantum entanglement, the remote mode thing. But that's
mm,
all I have it on now. I have both of them running on remote, and I just let it run, and like whatever I'm feeling, if I've got an issue, I just kind of type in the symptom, and then it adds the frequency to the program, and then you know as it runs through the program, like at the moment I've got some thyroid issues, so I've got the other one running on some thyroid issue problems, and I'm actually finding I'm like doing a lot of like gulping while I
mm,
think it's healing my thyroid. So I'm
mm.
getting really hungry, which I don't usually eat a lot, but I noticed since the thyroid started to be healed, my appetite's increasing quite.
Oh,
Mm.
I
So,
see. Yeah. Well, I
so
have some thyroid problems too, so I guess we seem to have the same ailments.
yeah, but that whole device runs on frequencies, and
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm completely on board now. 2 years ago, I would have just probably gone nodded at you, but no, with the spiritual vibration of our lives. Do you know what I have wondered though? If when you do interact with somebody else, and obviously they have a different um, frequency to you,
Mm.
uh, and you kind of your personal space is invaded. Do the frequencies cancel each other out, or do they merge?
Well, it depends on the person's. Usually the ones with the negative frequencies uh, affect the ones with the positive frequencies. So ones with the positive frequencies usually get sick, like they get a headache or some inflammation, or they just feel bad. You know, it depends how open spiritually they are. I mean, people who are spiritually open, they get like confused. They get mental attacks. They get confused. They can't think straight. They can't decide what's right. Other people who are spiritually closed, they get physical attacks, like myself. So,
Okay.
so yeah, the solution is to avoid those people. And actually, that I did that today with a guy that caused me the flare up and conjunctivitis. I told him
Mhm.
that I can't be with him because he caused me a 3 day long headache. He caused me conjunctivitis, and every time I talked to him, the same thing happened. So that's
Mm.
it. Sorry.
It's interesting, isn't it? I've got a friend who I adore. She's very funny, but I can only see her once every 3 or 4 months because the same thing happens. Like I enjoy her, but I know that I'm going to take a hit the next day.
Uh,
So I minimize, and like she's actually quite a lot of fun, but I don't know, it's like her energy is just it bombards me every time. And the first thing that happens is I get a migraine and I have to leave early. Yeah, and I didn't realize it was such a pattern. She actually started remarking on it and saying, "Oh, look, take some tablets before you come out because you always get a migraine." And I'm thinking, I wonder why.
well, usually those people are red. Okay, it's
Mm,
because they are red, so they can't do anything about it.
yeah.
It's they suck, and that's the way they suck energy. They need energy because they don't have energy of their own. So they need energy from other people, from light people, in order to survive.
Yeah, but it just not. Legitimately, I'm not right for 3 to 4 days after seeing her, and it's like,
Okay.
yeah, so basically, as I say, I have to plan my trips to sit, with her, because and if she just turns up out of the blue, it's just not good at all, you know.
Mm.
And, yeah, yeah, but so I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, thank you for explaining that. It was something
Yeah.
that I was because as I said, I've been using this machine for 2 years, and I really should investigate a little bit more about the frequency side. I used to sleep to the binaural beats and things like that in a
I've
few
done
for
that
a few.
too. I've done
Yeah,
that too. And
yeah.
also the HoloSync program, that's very good. It's
Oh, what's
it's
that one?
well, it has you put different frequencies in each ear, like with a small difference, and that difference builds new neurons in your brain. So those
Oh,
neurons are placed between your two hemispheres. So
mm-hmm.
the more you listen to those frequencies, the more balanced your two hemispheres become. So that helps you to get rid of negative patterns, negative thoughts, negative emotions. You become more balanced.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I know.
I'll check that out. Yeah.
It can
So
even heal depression and other things like that, mental things.
okay,
Yes,
there's
good.
I was amazed actually that this machine has a frequency for depression. I
Mm,
thought it was a combination of things, but have you ever used like a frequency to heal depression on anyone?
no, but I had depression before becoming a therapist, and I used HoloSync, and I got rid of it.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
that there you go.
Mm.
Okay, I might be. I've got a couple of people uh, who I know who I might pop some DNA in and give it a go and see if it improves monitor them without them knowing, and see how that goes. So since we're talking about like the red people, how do
Mm.
we protect? How would I protect myself from a psychic attack? And I know that sometimes a psychic attack isn't intentional; it's just that particular person, as you said, needs energy. So, and I'm like a
Mm.
beacon. I'm obviously a beacon because I seem to attract these people. It's like
Oh,
moths to a flame.
oh.
How how should I be protecting myself?
Well, it helps to pray for protection, pray to
I do.
God, to
Mhm.
Archangel Michael. I have a list of methods on my website. It helps to have an organite around your neck on a chain or a cross. Um,
I've got
uh,
a I've got a humong I don't know if you can see that, but I've got a humongous oh, what's this one?
it's a crystal, right?
Yeah, massive crystal.
Okay,
I,
those help too. Yeah, especially if you charge them. Is
yes,
it
I do.
charged? Okay,
Yes. Yeah. We
that
just had
helps.
a full moon.
Mm.
Full moon on the 13th, so it was out with that. Mhm.
Yeah, but no matter what you do, unfortunately, if you make a deal with a red, they have the right. Their entities have the right to attack you. And making a deal is any interaction. Well, not talking to them, but accepting things from them, giving them things, agreeing with them on something, going out with them. Anything is a deal. So even if you ask for protection, they have the right to attack you, unfortunately. So the best solution is just not to hang out with them. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually, yeah, like I've managed to get rid of the most people. As I said, I've only got this one friend, and I just have to limit when and where I see her. And to be honest, I haven't seen her for about 6 months. So
Mm,
I've actually think I've done that process without even thinking about it. She did ring the other day and left a
mm.
message, but I haven't responded yet.
Okay. The
Yeah.
only way I can interact with reds is about my work. If they want to cleanse themselves, then it's no deal. Then I can talk to them and write to them and
Mhm.
even see them, and because they are willing to work on themselves and to cleanse themselves, then that's okay. There's protection then in that case. Or even
Cool.
for somebody else, they don't need to do that work if their intention is to help the red persons
Mhm.
spiritually, I mean, and if
Mhm.
those people are willing to receive help and do something about it, then there's protection.
Mm. Oh, cool.
But
Okay.
if
Yeah.
if that is the goal of the interaction of the meeting, but if they don't want to hear anything about it, or they don't believe, or they're not interested, then unfortunately there's going to be attacks.
Yeah.
Mm,
Okay.
mm,
So I noticed on a couple of your articles you speak about the Council of the Light and the Dark Forces, and obviously I want to assist the light side. I've always, I suppose, looked at people and other things as shades of grey. So basically,
mm,
in most things, there are good, there are evil, and then there are people that are along the scale.
yeah,
Some
of
better than
course.
others.
Mm,
Uh, who are this? But in most of the articles you write, there's usually a reference to this council. So
mhm.
I was thinking it would be nice for the readers to know who is this Council of Light and Dark Forces, and how can we assist the light if there's in this battle, in their battle. Hmm.
How come what?
And
How
how
come
can we assist the light, I suppose, or
we assist?
to mm,
How can we assist the light?
mm,
Is that the question? Okay, okay. Well, first about there's not one council. There's many councils.
mhm,
Um, there's one series of councils that are light, that are in the light, and
mhm,
only and work only with light. There are only light souls there, and they decide things about how work will be uh, run in the light, and how we here on Earth and on other planets will receive help and guidance, and how we will fulfill our mission. So they decide on how with each of with our guides. I mean, our guides go there to the council to talk with a higher spirits. Like
Mm-hmm.
the elders are the highest ones. Then there are others that are under the elders,
Mm-hmm.
and they have meetings to decide on each of us how to guide us and how to resolve problems. And they also make decisions about on how to deal with dark forces. But those councils, they're like four councils. The smallest one, well, I don't remember the numbers by heart, but the smallest one has the least members. Then the second highest one has more members. The third highest one even more, and the one that's on top even more. Then there's another council that is not in the light and is not in the darkness either. It's in between. And that's where dark ones go to demand things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So those spirits have to resolve problems and battles between incarnated souls, light incarnated souls, and dark forces. Like for instance, I am a light incarnated soul makes a deal that gives dark ones the right to attack them and to take their soul. So this time the dark ones go to that council to demand their soul. So the guide of this person and the ones who are goes also there to make negotiations in order to help this person. So, like they say to the dark ones, okay, we need some time. So maybe this person will change their mind and break the deal and become a better person. We will give them a few breaks. You can have some energy from them, from this person. Like, okay, he will have an accident, for instance, and instead of dying and you taking their soul, you can take some energy with an accident, and maybe this will make the person think again and try to become a better person. That's just
Right.
an example.
Mm.
Um, but then, of course, the dark ones do make more use than they should of this council. They go there and claim, oh, this person did something bad, so we demand this and this and this, the right to go to that place and place put our machines and and so forth. So the light the council will have to decide how much they will give to the dark forces and how much they will protect the light incarnated ones. I don't know if I explain it very well. It's very complicated, really, and
Yes.
I'm
No. That's probably why I asked the question, because it's a repeating theme. So it's something that I wanted to get kind of clear in my own mind as well.
mm,
Yeah.
it's
It's
very complicated, and I
yeah.
myself don't know exactly how everything falls together and works, but I do know some examples, so I'm just giving them to you to help you make an idea, about how it works. And
It's
usually the council
yeah.
favors the dark ones. Just a little tiny bit favors the dark ones to stop them from making more claims and more demands, to make them, give them some satisfaction so they won't go back and demand more things or attack the the person in question.
Do you know what I find awful about all of this? The
Mm,
fact that I know my own situation with my red friend.
uh,
A lot of the stuff lot of the stuff I've done with her in the past is because I'm a kind person,
mm,
because I want to be a good friend, and it's all kind of taken advantage of. My goodness is taken advantage of, and it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem fair.
it's
You know?
not fair. This world is not fair. This world belongs to the darks. So of course it's not going to be fair to us. It's only fair to them because they
Yeah,
get
we.
whatever they want. I mean, the
Mm,
higher a red is, the more they get. The lower they are, the more they suffer. So
mm,
reds suffer too. It's not that they don't. It's like their demon does that to them to make them make more deals and go higher on the dark scale. The more evil they do, the more they hurt other people, the higher they come, the higher they get, and the less they suffer.
yes. Yeah.
It's the opposite to to what is true for us.
So how can we help the light kind of become more dominant in this space?
By working on ourselves, by asking God to give us the truth, no matter how bad it is. I mean, even if we don't like it. I mean, most people don't want to know the truth because
No.
they they are used to what they know and they are happy with it. They feel comfortable, and it will upset their whole existence if they find out what the truth really is.
Yes.
So yeah,
Definitely.
so we should investigate and ask God to give us the truth, and then when we find out, to work on ourselves and our relationships, accept what we can't change. That is a difficult one for many people to accept what is,
Yes. Yes, it is. Is
and try to
so
fight evil, you know.
so do are the religions seen as light or dark on earth? Because some religions I look at and I think, well, it's it would seem quite oppressive. But even the Christian religions that I was raised in, they have some very dark kind of
Hmm.
connotations. You know, the whole concept of hell and things like that. So is it again the same with there are good and there's bad in those various religions, or is it we just all religion is just controlling and it's and just another means.
Most religions are dark. That means that they don't worship God, they worship a demon. I'm sorry to say that.
No, I think we've all suspected it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And
Mm,
then some religions, like Christianity, are both because they contain elements that are light, that are the truth and are linked to the real God. But then they also contain elements that are depicting a dark God,
mm,
especially Christianity, which is really Judeo-Christianity. It's not pure. It's mixed
mm,
with the with with that other religion.
mm.
But then within Christianity, there are many religions. Some of them are more light than others. Some of them are totally dark. I don't know which religion you grew up in, but
Oh,
some of
well,
them are totally.
I was raised Catholic, but then I converted to Anglican, and now I'm more agnostic. I believe that there is a God, but I don't follow any religious doctrine. Mm.
Okay, I don't know if I should say here which religion is dark and which isn't because we
Well,
might have.
well, I imagine Catholicism is very dark.
Yeah, Catholicism is totally dark. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't
One of
worship
the reasons,
God.
yeah, one of the reasons I ran from it. I
Mm.
think as a woman, you sense it straight away. To be honest.